Yeah, that's why I got mixed. Sorry.
Hello, hello, hello. Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Good evening. It's a wonderful day today. Yeah. Yeah. Good evening. We are grateful that you made time to be part of this wonderful session. It's a press conference that we are basically talking about the amazing things our young people are doing in different countries and the impacts they are making and the changes. It's very interesting that we have people all the way from Ghana, South Africa, and Nigeria and other parts of the world. It's amazing to have all of you here. My panelists, we have Gloria Ejare from GEM. Please give us a wave. Great. Intokozo Malloy from the campaigner director for Climate Clock. Yes, thank you very much. Mush Ahuja is also from a youth representative and an entrepreneur. Thank you very much for making time. We have Imbani Friday from Nigeria, who is with the Green Faith organization. Friday, away for us, please. Yeah, thank you so much for making time. We want to know from Gloria. We want you to share with us the amazing concepts, what you've been doing, the impact, and how you are helping in solving this climate crisis we see now.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question, Portia. So my name is Gloria Jare, Programs Officer for Ghana Youth Environmental Movement. And Ghana Youth Environmental Movement is basically into youth empowerment and leading climate solutions at the grassroots. So our work is focused on empowering young people to lead solutions. And within the period of 2020 to 2025, we have a post-COVID strategy which seeks to empower grassroots activists, build community-based intervention projects, and also build alliances in order to propel climate action at the grassroots. So far, GEM has done amazing work, and some of these are developing the Green Clubs in Schools project, where we developed a comprehensive curriculum, green curriculum, for students at the grassroots, students in senior high schools and primary schools. And also we have a project called the Ghana Young Environmentalist Program, where we build the capacity of over 200 grassroots activists to lead climate solutions at the lower level, at the grassroots level. Also, we have the Chensu project, which is the community-based intervention project addressing issues related to water poverty, water crisis, and trying to also get women to be relieved from the stress that comes with trying to get water every day for their families, the climate change impact on their water bodies at low income levels, low income community levels. So basically, these are some of the things that we've done over the year, impacting life and getting young people to lead solutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gloria. It's amazing. And my name is Portia Dumensa, and I'm your moderator for this session. One thing I want us to take note is that we cannot have a climate conversation without your young people, and it's most important for us to begin to have these campaigns, adding it to their curriculum so that it can be part of their educational system. So I would want to congratulate Jem for this amazing work, and keep up that good work, keep impacting more people, and network in other countries, and I know they will exchange learnings through that. Through this, I want Friday to share with us what amazing work he's doing in Nigeria and how it's impacting his community.
Thank you very much. I am Barney Friday Barilule. I came from Ogoni in Niger Delta region of Nigeria. I'm a community activist where I grew up in a household of 6. And my dad was a fisherman, and my mom is also sell fish. We do sell local fish. And obviously, in 1958, when Share came to our community, we embraced them. My father told me that he embraced them, thinking, when a black people in a local community meet a white people coming, it kind of does excitement, feeling like association with them and embrace them well. But in the process, they never knew that Share came to our community to destroy. They never knew they came to our community to kill, because anything that destroys the environment destroys life. There's no two way about it. If anything you are doing affects the environment, indirectly you are destroying the life of the people living in that region, in that particular region. Where, as God may have it, I lost my dad. And the money they got from the income of fishing and farming is what they trained me to school. I am a national diploma holder, and that is the end of my education. Sorry to say it. It's not the end, but that is where I stopped education. And I could not continue it again because there's no finance, no fishes is not there in the river again, and mother is no longer getting fish to sell. So you can see the damages and the loss of livelihood in the region with the picture of what I'm saying right now. And I also recall, if it go about Niger Delta, Ogoni to be very specific, we have recorded about 4,919 OSP within 4 years. In August, late August and first week of September, within 5 days, we recorded 3 OSP this year. And it's continually happening like that. In that 1958, when Share and other multinational companies came to our community or our region, actually they set up what we call a gas plant, very distant away from residential area. But today, after 60 years, you agree with me that population increased and people start building house extend from where a local community were. So that extension of building have also approved a river settlement to be close to gas flaring. And as I'm talking to you now, it's like a boundary, gas flaring and residential house. You can know how damaged it is. I will summarize everything because if you continue talking, I will take much of the time. I will really take much of the time. If you Google right now, if I don't need to Google, I must tell you from my own community, we are not home right now. We are away because of climate change. The flooding in my community, the flooding in my environment, it has taken about 200 households to be in IDP camp, dispersed around pursue the landlord and tenant out of their own house. And we have recorded, the Minister of Environment said, we have recorded 600 souls being lost.
Wow.
So what about the economic damage and no economic damage? So with all this that have proved me, pushing me to keep the struggle forward for climate justice, And as a Green Faith coordinator in Niger Delta region, my duty is to coordinate, sensitize the faith believers, because there's no faith that condemns climate justice. I've never seen one. I've never recorded one. If I see, I will tell you.
Great.
But for now, I've not seen.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, 1 minute more, please.
Okay, 1 minute more. Thank you very much. So our demand in climate finance, at least this COP27 be able to release some funding that will push into a just transition towards 100% renewable energy. And not only that, but there must be a framework to stop further a new fossil fuel funding or new fossil fuel projects in Niger Delta and all over Nigeria. Let me speak a bit very specific. And again, I will also speak on that same climate finance to keep on advocating for a stop to deforestation.
Yes.
And that one cannot automatically stop, because I know we are all victims of that, especially my people. We depend on cutting down firewood to use it, depend on cutting down a tree and use it for firewood. So if there is an alternative, which is the just transition, it is obvious that we can mitigate it within a shorter period of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think this is a real story we need to start having a conversation on in terms of loss and damage. So this is a good place to introduce Ms. Ntokozo Moloi, who has the tool that speaks into all these things that we are talking about. Please, you can have the floor.
Hi guys. I'm Ntokozo from Climate Clock. This wonderful portable clock is what the Climate Clock is. So the top number that you see is what we call the deadline. It's not a doomsday clock, but we call it a window of hope. It's from the IPCC data, which basically tells us that we have less than 7 years to do things to mitigate global warming and to prevent global warming so that we don't reach 1.5 degrees Celsius. The bottom number is what we call lifelines, which are solution pathways. So the Climate Clock, a lot of activists around the world are using it. Portia is using it in Ghana. There's my colleague Raul, who's using it in Brazil to advocate for indigenous protection of land. I'm using it in South Africa, and as Portia said, loss and damage is at the top of the agenda. I truly believe that if we do not get a way forward when it comes to loss and damage for COP27 would be a failure. In April this year, as you would know, there were floods in Durban, global news. The floods only took 2 days. In 2 days, infrastructure worth 100 billion was lost. In 2 days, I lost my family home. In 2 days, I lost 2 family members, one of which we had to send a search party for 2 weeks. In 2 days, we lost everything. We had to move, we lost everything. So climate change is something that is happening here and now, which is why it's important to have the conversation of time and to push for urgency. Many times when you talk about climate change, we talk about it in a way that is delayed. By 2050, we're going to do this. By 2070, each and every single year, there's Agenda 2075, agenda this, agenda that. But we are facing the effects here. We are facing the effects now. People are losing their lives now. And we need urgent action. And this is a way of us sounding the alarm in a very simple way. We are telling our leaders what they need to do and by when they need to do it. And we are saying no to false solutions, because we understand that when it comes to fighting climate change, time is important. If we do not do it quickly, we will lose. And if we lose, we all die. So it depends on our future to sound the alarm and speak against the climate postponement, because we believe that delay equals denial. Thank you, Portia.
Thank you very much. This is touching. And it's amazing for you to know that It's about time we look for solutions, which is based on country's perspective, and not try to adapt from other countries. And it's very, very key that we don't just come here and have those negotiations without making the real impact and just talking about the money without giving out the real deals and making sure that impact is felt, especially at the grassroots level. It is time for us to know more about Seed of Change, which is basically going to be a presentation from Mush Ahuja. Please, a round of applause for him as he mounts the podium.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll just come there quickly. Yeah, so I'm Piyush from Dubai, UAE, where the next year we are going for the COP. I think, as she mentioned, that really the time is now. And we believe that the seed of the change has to begin. And where do we begin? Because every year we are going into a new conference, new promises, new degree levels, but really not happening as she was mentioning. And I really agree with you, really, on each of your points. And the situation is quite dire now. But what I feel is that if you ask me personally, can I get there and really meet and be a lobbyist or try to convince the governments? Personally, I don't have any power. But there's one power which I believe that we all have within us. And that is the power to change from inside. We are the seeds, actually. If you see on the grassroots levels, we are actually the seed. When I say that, let me just read a quick message from us which says that every expression of human beings is rooted in a subtle level of awareness. Our vision, words and actions flow from this. It follows that the world we have is the world created by the collective thoughts, words and actions of all. Well, this message, what we are trying to say is that, collectively, as a big population of 7 billion people in the world, if we move towards having a one thought, which is collectively together, we can bring a change. Now, the change will not come from anywhere outside. The governments are not going to make sure that every one of our voices are heard. Especially we, the youth, are reaching to a point that we get very fast depressed, burnout, tired, and sometimes we wonder, why am I doing this also? Let the world go to do what they want. I'm tired of this, isn't it? Don't we feel that, really, forget about it, let me just eat a chocolate and throw the piece of wrapper, I don't give a care about it. Let me use a plastic bottle, who's listening to me? There's no one, why should I worry? Well, I know that's the most easiest way we can follow that. And we as youth, when I'm saying we means I mean personally, I do get drained out very personally, very fast. But I just want to tell you that it all begins with one change in the mindset. It's one change in your thinking. That how much I have taken back from the nature until when I will take. Let's not worry what others are doing. Let's worry what I can do. I'm not worried that the others will change or not. I am the change. I want to be the seed for the change. So for that, start making a change in your life from today, from now. We have small children who are starting that in UAE, and we have small efforts they're making. We call it a one change initiative. Started from the children, by the way. And they are motivating us. You know what they do? They say these statements from them. I will consume one water bottle less this week. A small change they're making. I will reduce my use of tissue paper, reduce my time for the shower by 1 minute. They are saying that if I start doing this and many more other initiatives, I believe we can do. If I do it, I'll motivate my friend, my family, and it will spread the word. Here is some demonstrations. They switch from plastic bottles to these reusable bottles. I'm just telling you something practical. They move from a plastic fork to a spoon. And these are our children and the youth who are motivating us. Now, just to summarize and close, in essence, I would like to say, you want a change? Don't look outside. Look inside. Go inside. Be the change. Because our motto is, when I change, the world will change. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's true. It's amazing for you to know and understand that if we start making that change that we want to see, it will go a long way to help us. And those conversations we shouldn't wait for our leaders, but we can start that change even at the grassroots level, wherever you find yourself. Be part of the solution. And stop making noise about we are waiting for our leaders, we are waiting for whoever. But this program would not have been a success without the opportunity of Mr. Kenneth Amoateng, who has given we the young leaders an opportunity to be here today to express and share our thoughts, because we all come to COP and with an observer badge you don't have access to these platforms, but we are doing amazingly well in our communities, and I think this is a great platform, and we want to hear from Ken why he chose to bring this panel. Thank you.
That's great opportunity. I've been to COP since 2009 in Copenhagen, where we're calling for justice, where we're calling for the NDCs, and we're able to achieve a few, which I always say they create employment for themselves by the global north. Africans suffer a lot. We meet between 4 to 6%. But we suffer the most. And so I see that from that generation, if we can go forward as an African, instead we need to build the capacity of the young people so that we can take the destiny in our hands, we can do the negotiation, and also work in our various communities to bring that change that we need. So basically that is the idea. That's the reason why bringing the young people to share the ideas for what they are doing in the community.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It will also interest you to know that I met a woman with a baby, and I asked, is this child also going to be an activist? And she said, if this child becomes an activist, then we have all failed. Because if it's just going to be about negotiations without solutions, then there's no future for these young ones. I would want to take your last statements from the panel, starting with Gloria.
Thank you very much, Portia. Thank you very much, Ken, for creating this platform for young people to be heard. So for me, my focus will be on young people because, once again, I am an example of a young person who has been empowered to lead change. Young people have the solution. Young people can. Young people have time on their hands to lead and champion change. We want our leaders to focus on us. We want our leaders to invest in us, to be able to undertake this implementation they cannot do at the grassroots level. I am pleading for an investment in young people. I'm pleading for an investment in women to lead solutions. We are at the forefront of climate change. We know the impact it has on us, on our lives, and the people we live with. Empower us to lead change at the grassroots. Give us, if it's finance, it should be there. Resources, it should be there. Knowledge, it should be there. Every gap that needs to be bridged to ensure that we lead solutions should be created for every young person out there. Climate change is happening at a very faster rate. We are losing everything, like our sister just shared with us. And it's very alarming. We need all the resources to get everyone on board to help propel the action at the grassroots and at all levels. Thank you very much, Portia.
Friday, please, you can have the floor.
Thank you very much. Once again, I will make my summary that climate change is real and it's obvious.
Yes.
Not only that, but it affects all the sectors. There's no sectors that can be separated from the effect of climate change. It affects the agriculture, it affects farmers, affects the local people, affects the city, people in the urban, it affects the white, affects the black. Everybody, it affects everybody. So on this note, I will call for a collective action. It's not one Friday action or only people in the local environment or people in Abuja or people in the city, people in the London. No, this is an action that demands everybody's support. And as not only that, but it should be now. It should be now. I wish it should be now. If we are say, like my president usually say, gas flaring will stop by 2020. When we get to 2020, it's a 2025. By the time we get to 2025, it's a 2030. You know, all these things, and people keep dying. People keep dying. In my area, there is pains in the land. There is suffer in the land. My wife, I'm married now. When she was pregnant, as soon as she got in, come and say, Ashma. I said, what? Were you asthmatic? You didn't tell me? And she didn't know what to tell me. after delivering the asthma reduced gradually. And to get one Ventolin in my region, you get it 1,600 naira, and it's very costly. I've thank God to, if you go what UNEP, there was a time UNEP came to my environment, they conduct an environmental impact assessment, and they released a report that we are taking 900 tons of benzene in water. And this to tell you that we can, in the days coming, we can have a community of cancer. In fact, I wish this climate action should be now. This
Yes.
COP27 now, we are now. I pray, that's my prayer. I want to take home with that. That
you.
all actions should be done now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Friday. Itokozo, your last word.
I believe that we are in a war against humanity, a war against ourselves. And if we are the cause of the problem, we also are the only ones that can solve the problem. The solutions can only come from us, and it is now time for us to act in time.
Okay, so just as your clock is reading, we are all going to do accordingly.
I agree with all of my friends who have just shared here every point, and I really love that line that we are at war. I would just tell each one of us, keep your inner resilience, keep your inner stability, don't lose yourself, and remember, who am I? Who am I? And who am I? That's all I can say.
Thank you very much, Ken.
We should not leave COP27 without having the loss and damage pledge. And what they can do for Africa is that give us a loss and damage pledge.
Nice,
And we'll be very grateful and we'll say thank you. Africa is waiting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is important for us to also close on this note that loss and damage is a real issue, and it's one thing that's going to solve our problems. Enough of giving us the loans. It's about time we use the climate finance to solve the climate crisis happening in the African countries. Let's all join hands and be part of this solution. And we will not come back here with negotiations, but we will come here and we will be glad that we solved the problem and we are going ahead without even meeting the 2030 agenda. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you, my panelists. A short picture here and we'll be done. Thank you very much for your time, audience.
Thank you, Portia. Why don't you come in the middle?
Yeah, we are fine. Yeah, we can have the picture now. Cheese. Thank you. Climate justice now. Now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All the best. I saw your clock, actually.